guys, so welcome to part 2 of my Disneyland vs Disneyland Paris video. God, was that cheesy or what? First video I talked about the differences and similarities between Disneyland and Disneyland Paris and Disneyland California. And this time in this video I want to talk about the difference between California Adventure Park and Walt Disney Studios in Paris, because both are separate parks but they've got similar theming as well, I feel. So there are some similarities and I'm going to talk about those. First things first, California Adventure Park is a lot bigger than Walt Disney Studios, I'm not going to lie, it's huge, and I think any comparisons I make between Walt Disney Studios and California Adventure, it's going to be really tough because California Adventure has things that Walt Disney World Studios just doesn't have yet. Disneyland Studios. Talk about Disneyland Studios in Paris. It is very like 1920s style, 1930s themed, I feel. As you're walking in, you've got the studio buildings, but like the building you walk through to get through to the main park, it does feel to me a bit warehousey-ish, and it's got a shop, a big shop, and then it's like quick service dining area basically, and some toilets, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's not really a lot of magic to be had in that studio building, and as you go through and you come into the park area, that's when things maybe get a little bit magical. You have the Tower of Terror staring at you on their side. You can walk over to your right and you've got Crusher's Coaster and the Magic Flying Carpets, which are really fun. And you've also now got the new Ratatouille area, which has the Ratatouille ride, and it has Bistro Chez Remy, and it's got a really nice, again, shop there. It's got Toy Story Playland, which has RC Racer, a Slinky Dog, and the Army Men thing ride. I forget what it's called, but you go up and then you go down. Parachute drop, that's it. And then there's like the back lot, I guess, which has Rock and Roller Coaster, it has Motors, the Action, and it's got a Spider-Man meet and greet, and again more restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants. It's also got, Paris has got Animagique, which is a show which I've not seen, and then the Cinemagique, which I've seen twice, and both, I guess, can be described as dated from what I've read on the Animagique anyway, but definitely Cinemagique is very dated, but it's kind of cool. You go through different movies that aren't really Disney themed, like you've got Titanic and yeah, black and white movies and all sorts of like 80s movies, which are really fun. In California Adventure, it's got like Cars Land, it's got Bugs Land, it's got Paradise Pier, which is like the biggest section, I think, of the park, and you've got your classic rides. You've got Tower of Terror in there, and I think that's pretty much it as far as tradition goes. You've also got like Condor Flats in California, which is another area in itself, and California Adventure is so huge. Like, you've got Buena Vista Street with all its shops and ice cream parlours and things. And so you've got Condor Flats, it's got Soarin', it's got Cali River Rapids, it's got the Wilderness Explorer Trail where you can meet Doug and Russell, which is really fun. And then you've got the Hollywood Boulevard, which has the Mad Tea Party area. There's like a Monsters Inc. ride, there's a Muppet ride, there's on Buena Vista Street as well, there's like a Newsies show which happens like 2 or 3 times a day. You've got a dime lady who comes out with a little band in a car and she sings and dances. And then Bugs Land, it's got rides which are mostly aimed at little kids. There's like Heimlich's Choo Choo Train, and there's the ladybug ride, and then there's a ride where it's like flying through the air in little chow mein boxes and things. Cars Land is incredible and spectacular in its own right. It's so well themed. It's got Flo's V8 Cafe, which has the most delicious food. It's got Radiator Springs, which is its most popular attraction there. It's got Mater's Flying Junkyard Jamboree, which is kind of like fairly similar to the ride that they've got in Paris with the cars, and it just spins round really fast and you're weaving in and out. That's really cool. And Paradise Pier, like I say, it's like the biggest, and it's like its own little world. You've got California Screaming, you've got Toy Story Midway Mania, Goofy Sky School, you've got Mickey's Fun Wheel. So as far as rides go, like California Adventure pretty much beats Paris hands down with the variety. And Paris has got like Crush's Coaster, I think, is amazing, like, and it's unique as well in that it spins and it's in the dark and you're on a turtle shell. It's just awesome. But also as well, what's unique about Paris is the Ratatouille ride, which is incredible. California Adventure or Disneyland in California doesn't have anything like the Ratatouille ride that Paris does, and you get to ride on a rat and you wear 3D glasses and the smells, and it's like non-trackless system. It's incredible, blows my mind. And that's something that California doesn't have, so that's one thing in Paris's favour, I guess. And Toy Story Land as well. I really like Toy Story Land in Paris. Both parks seem to have like a Pixar-y theme going on. Like there is a Meet Sully from Monsters University meet and greet, and you get to meet the Incredibles in California Adventure. And you used to be able to meet Sully, I think, in Paris, but not so much anymore. But there is definitely a Pixar kind of theme going on in Paris as well. Let's talk parades. So Disneyland Studios in Paris, it used to have a really cool Stars and Cars parade, and it had like an Ariel car and a Mulan, and it had a Ratatouille car, and yeah, it was just a really fun, really cool parade. It wasn't very long. It was maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, if that. But yeah, it was really good, and I used to really enjoy that. And now they've got rid of it, and they say they have a Stars and Cars parade, which is actually a meet and greet. And to be honest, it's not even a very good meet and greet. You stand around in a circle and get pushed and shoved by other people when they see one of their favourite characters coming, and they do sets of there's like 2 groups of characters doing sets, and it can be totally random as to who you'll get that day. In California, I ran out of time to catch it, but there is a parade. It's called the Pixar Play Parade, and I believe it happens at 5 PM every day in California Adventure, and it pretty much features all the Pixar characters apart from Merida. So you've got Toy Story, you've got Bugs Land, you've got Cars, you've got Monsters Inc., you've got them all basically. All the Pixar films are represented in that parade, and I've seen videos of it and it looks awesome. Like, I wish I could have had time to see that, but hey ho, things to do on another trip. That's like a bucket list I'm coming up with, the things to do I want to do when I next go again to California. So parade wise, yeah, California beats Paris at the moment, because Paris doesn't have one. Nighttime shows as well. Again, Studios in Paris doesn't have a nighttime show yet. I really hope that one day in the future they are going to announce plans to do a nighttime show. But at the minute it seems to be the feel in Paris is the studios doesn't open as long, and then it's everyone out of the studios, go to Disneyland and watch Dreams, and then that's it. I think Paris needs to really develop the studios and make it bigger. It's got the land, so there's definitely, I imagine there's going to be plans further afoot for it to develop, and hopefully there will be a nighttime show. I would love it if the studios in Paris got something like Fantasmic, or maybe something brand new. Would be really, really fun. And just something to keep you interested, because sometimes I feel like the studios is like a holding bay for Paris. There's a couple of rides you want to do in the studios, but then most of the time you want to spend it in the main Disneyland park. And California Adventure is like equal to the main Disneyland park as well. So yeah, hopefully fingers crossed for a nighttime show at the end of the day. That's what I'm trying to say there. Character meet and greets, I've gone over this really. Paris they've got the Stars and Cars meet and greet now, which isn't as good. Character meet and greets in California Adventure are pretty awesome. You can meet Sully in a Monsters University themed area, and he comes out in his Letterman jacket. You can meet the Incredible, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible and Frozone just a little bit further along the street. You can meet Duffy in a specially themed area. He's got his own little shop just on Paradise Pier. There's Donald as well. He's got a little hut and a little proper different outfit to what he usually wears. He usually wears a blue, but he's got a red and white stripy top on. And further along Paradise Pier, you've got Woody and Buzz and Jessie, I think. The three of them alternate meeting and greeting further along. I'm trying to think who else. You can meet you can meet the Cars in Cars Land. It generally tends to be Mater or Lightning McQueen. Sometimes they bring out the fire truck, and then there's like a special blue car I don't know the name of, but he does like a dance show in Cars Land on an evening as the lights are coming on, and that's really fun. You can have a bit of a boogie and a disco in Cars Land. That's really good. Flick sometimes comes out in Bugs Land. If you're lucky enough to catch Flick, he's there. I never did. But that's okay, because I've not actually watched A Bug's Life. But yeah, he's there if you want to meet him. So yeah, California Adventure, it's got some great meet and greet opportunities there. And Paris used to have a really good system, I think. Before the parade started, they used to have it where certain characters would come out in certain areas of the park. So you'd get Donald and Daisy in their movie regalia by the Cinemagique building. You'd maybe have Ariel just near Tower of Terror. You'd have the Evil Queen near the Hollywood Tram Studio ride, which is where I met her once. You could have Sully by the Monsters Inc. themed area, where they have a screen machine. That used to be really good, and I used to really like that, because then you could go and choose which character you wanted to queue and wait to meet and greet, whereas this one now it's in the circle and you don't have a say as to which character. Some part of the circle you don't even get a character at all, so if you stood in the wrong section of the circle then you're stuffed basically. I found it was better to be round on the main pathway facing Cinemagique, and you got more characters coming round there, just as a hint if you want to meet characters in Paris. So yeah, definitely California Adventure Depot has the advantage of character meet and greets compared to Paris. Time shows, I know I've gone over this, but like Walt Disney Studios in Paris needs a nighttime show, because California Adventure has World of Colour, and that's kind of similar to Disney Dreams, where it's projected with water and Mickey's Fun Wheel. But yeah, that's just incredible. I love World of Colour, even though they spell colour wrong, it should have a U in it. But yeah, World of Colour, amazing for a nighttime spectacular show. I've already talked about dining, like with character dining. In my last video, there are quite a few places around the California Adventure Park for dining, which is good for characters, but there's also the Wine Country Trattoria, which is really good. It's a nice meal if you've got, like, it's moderately to expensively priced, I guess, depending on what you order. I enjoyed my meal there when I went there, and there's loads of cool places like quick service to eat. In Cars Land they've got cones, which are like restaurants, and you can buy like a cozy cone of chips and things, and they have different menus, like different stuff going on depending on the season, and you can buy special meals, which is really fun. I think for the 60th anniversary they had like a pulled pork cone, and cheese and bacon or something. Which, yeah, if that floats your boat, yay! Flo's V8 Cafe is amazing for food. They do a really nice sundae at Clarabelle's on Buena Vista Street. That's really yum. I got a kitchen sink which came in an actual sink shaped like Mickey's pants, and yeah, it's delicious. Can't fault the food in California Adventure. In Paris they've got lots of carts where you can buy crepes with Nutella. They have Bistro Chez Remy, which is fine, high class dining, I guess, and they have Restaurant des Stars, which is buffet style, and it's all you can eat basically. So that's pretty good, but there isn't really a lot of dining options. Also in Paris Disney Studios you can meet Spider-Man, which I think is really awesome. I love the Spider-Man meet and greet, and even on my phone, I don't know if I'll be able to show you this. Where is he? On my phone there. That's how awesome a meet and greet with Spider-Man is. I was literally stood talking to him for like a minute and he just picked me up out of nowhere, and that's stayed as my background since November 2014. Paris does have Rock and Roller Coaster, which California Adventure doesn't have, and I think it's one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on. Like the music playing and you get to rock as you ride through. That's really awesome. And they do have California Screaming in California, and that's outside, and it's very kind of like beach pier style themed, and it is really good. But I don't know, there's just something about riding a roller coaster in the dark and not being able to see where you're going that makes it slightly more scarier. So although I really enjoyed the California Screaming, I'd say Rock and Roller Coaster is my favourite out of the two there. And some more things I want to talk to you about, differences and comparisons, is like the Fast Pass and single rider system. Disneyland and Disneyland California Adventure have a lot more rides which have single rider as opposed to Paris. Like Paris, I think you're just expected to be in a group of people, whereas California really seemed to work well for me as a solo traveller. I was able to ride California Screaming by myself, Goofy Sky School, Big Thunder Mountain had a single rider line, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I just felt there was like loads more options in California for me to go on as a single rider. Radiator Springs, that was another one that had a single rider line that really worked well for me. Paris, I think, only has like Crush's Coaster. And I'm not sure actually which rides in Paris have single rider. I don't think there's many. Photo Pass Plus. Paris has Photo Pass Plus, and I think you pay like €50, and you can get pretty much all the photos you want taken and put on the card, and they last for like 10 days after your trip, which doesn't seem very long, but and you have to get like an app to download them and things. So but I like the pricing of it because I think it's really worth the money. Now in California, everything like in America basically is a certain price, and then you think, great, that's a really cool price, and then they add like tax to it, and so then it's a little bit more. So when I went to California, I saw that Photo Pass Plus there is like $99, so I thought pretty expensive, but you know, I'll get my money out of it. And then I got to the till and they were like, it's $114, and I was like, what? Still bought it, but I was just a bit outraged with the price of it, to be honest. However, I did get a lot more photos put on the Photo Pass in California than I did in Paris, and you know, in California I was on my own, and in Paris I was in a group, so that baffled me as to why I got more photos in California. I don't know, maybe I was just hogging up the Photo Pass photographers. Also, there's more Photo Pass photographers in California around than there is in Paris, and like they're everywhere in California. The Photo Pass photographers, several sections are up Main Street and around the castle and different areas of the parks, and in California Adventure they're around Cathay Circle, and as well they add the photos to the photo pass of you actually walking up to the characters or you talking to them, whereas in Paris I found with the photo pass photographers they let you have your interaction but they don't take photographs of it, and they just literally have the posed picture of you with the character, which is great, obviously that's what it's for, but then I quite like seeing the interactions from California I've had where I bowed to Mulan when I met her, you know, and talking and like, yay, Ariel, look, I'm wearing your favourite colours, that kind of, you know, pictures I didn't know they were taking looked amazing to me, and I love that, and I wish Paris would get in on that a bit more. Maybe they will, fingers crossed. But with regards to PhotoPass, definitely better price-wise in Paris, but the amount of pictures you got in California was amazing. So guys, I think this pretty much sums up my comparison of Disneyland Paris versus Disneyland California. I hope you found these two videos interesting, or maybe you haven't and I've bored you to tears, I don't know. But thanks for letting me talk and just get it all out there and what I think. If you want to disagree or agree with me about certain things about the parks, let me know. Like this video, comment and subscribe please, and yeah, see you real soon. Take care guys, bye.